What is up, guys? Welcome back to the AEW Dynamite review. And actually, this time I managed to watch the show live. Usually, I watch it in the morning or like somewhere in the afternoon because of the time difference. Because for me, it's around 2 a.m., but I waited and watched it because I was not really sleepy anyway. But it was a pretty good show. I feel like in terms of actually following up and building towards the next show, they did a good job, considering that this is something they usually struggle with when it comes to the Dynamite that follows a pay-per-view. Usually they don't really do enough, or the show is kind of meh. Like, it's still a good Dynamite, even if it's not, even if it's a meh, considering that the episode follows a pay-per-view. But this time they really nailed it. Even though I will start off with the fact that Mercedes wasn't on the show, we had a promo of her basically saying that she is the greatest of all time, which she is. And she talks about how she went back to back winning the women's Owen Hart tournament, and she's gonna be challenging for the title at All In. Whether it'll be against Tekla or somebody else, we'll get into that eventually. But let's start off with the last match of the night, because why not? It was the TBS title match, and we had Harley Cameron, Maika from Stardom, Queen Aminata, Persephone, Hikaru Shida, and Crystal Linda. I feel like this match was decent, but considering that I've only seen two Survival of the Fittest matches, it's this one and the Ring of Honor women's one where Athena was defending. And that one, I feel like it was also like fine, but because there were weapons and stuff, it made it more interesting. But for this one, like, where was the violence? Where was the survival thing? Just felt like it's a 6-women elimination match, and the last person to win becomes the new TBS champion. So I was disappointed in that regard, but it was still a pretty decent match. I think Maika had, her good moments here and there. Queen Aminata, I was crushed. I think even the audience was crushed as well when Queen Aminata lost. Also Persephone, I don't really know, because I feel like Persephone was kind of giving babyface, especially with the stuff with the Triangle of Madness, but she's kind of healing it up recently. I don't know if it's part of the story of the mist from Julia Hart. I feel like commentary didn't really tell us that if that is the case, so I really wonder what they're doing there, but I'm interested. She is great. Persephone was looking great in this one. Crystal Linda was the backbone of this match. She was doing everything she can. Hikaru Shida was pretty good. Harley Cameron got eliminated very early on, but she had a decent amount of showing. But yeah, Hikaru Shida won, which I feel like we all kind of expected. Like, we collectively, like, I saw a lot of people on the timeline, we all wanted Queen Aminata. We knew it would probably be Hikaru Shida. We were fine with everybody else except Harley Cameron, which it's fair. So I really wonder what they're gonna do next. I'm assuming it's gonna be Hikaru Shida doing something with Crystal Linda. Hopefully we rope in some of the girls in there, because I feel like this was a great way of, kind of like the interactions, and I hope we see Maika, Crystal Linda somewhere down the road. We see Crystal Linda, Persephone, Queen Aminata, Maika. Like, I don't know how long Maika's gonna be here, because I know she's not in the 5-star Grand Prix, but I hope she gets some decent stuff. We also got Jay White. Jay White was on the show, and my God, like, I've never experienced a lot of Jay White, because every time I was like starting to watch, he was kind of gone. I remember the last time I started caring more about the show, he was gone. Like, I think it was after MJF lost and he got injured around that time, so he was gone. And then I came back. I started watching more around All In 2024, and leading into the Death Rider stuff where he was kind of there. Then he got injured again, so he was gone. And my God, I have to say, he might be the second best promo after MJF. Like, obviously MJF is probably, like, I think for more of the younger guys, he's definitely the best in all of wrestling. Like, his competition is like the CM Punks The Rock, John Cena's of the world, but he is up there. Jay White was really great. I also like how he called out Will Ospreay for running around with the Death Riders, but he also called out the AEW sickos for saying, hey, so the last time I was here, we were all against the Death Riders, but now y'all are keying. Y'all are happy with the Death Riders over here. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, so are y'all good with these guys trying to off Bryan Danielson? What is going on? And I really like that somebody is kind of telling us this, but in person, right? Because like people have said it, but it's like backstage stuff. So I really like that. I wonder what he's gonna be doing. I hope he wins. Him or Swerve, I hope they win the Casino Gauntlet, which I hope happens at All In. Also, I want to say I'm kind of disappointed that they're doing the Casino Gauntlet at next week's show, Spring Break, and then they're probably going to do it again at All In. I feel like we're doing it too much, especially back to back, so I don't really know how I feel about that. One of the most important, probably the most important storyline that we got on this show was we got MJF versus Mark Briscoe. I think the match was pretty good. I'm not really gagged by it because we've seen this a lot of times. I feel like Mark Briscoe's matches, especially the ones that are like on Dynamite, I feel like it's always the same thing. It's always, blood, tables and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like if you've seen one good one, you've seen a lot of them. And yeah, after the match, MJF destroys him, which leads to Kenny coming out. Kenny challenges for the title, which MJF says no, but then he says, I will give you a title shot. If, just like Hangman, if I beat you, then you're never challenging for the title again. Which I feel like I really liked that it was kind of like a through line for the whole show where Kenny talked to like a lot of guys. Like the Young Bucks were like against it, even though Nick was for it. He was like, yeah, do it. And then Will Ospreay also was like, don't do it. So I really liked that he was kind of, it was like a story throughout the whole show. So surprisingly, the match is happening next week. And I have to say that Spring Break is kind of loaded. Like, we're going to get some good stuff. I know we also got Kyle Fletcher there. So we got Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. We got the women's casino match. We got the MJF Kenny. We got Chris Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm sure there's probably some that I'm forgetting, but it's looking really good. I look forward to next week's show. I'm definitely gonna watch that live, depending on how long it is. But yeah, so we're gonna get this match. Redemption is shaping up to be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. They definitely are building in more. My only disappointment was that Mercedes wasn't on the show, which is not really surprising that they're not really doing much for the women. But I will, kind of give it the benefit of the doubt that Tekla might not be champion by All In, so maybe they don't want to sell us that, and kind of make fans want that instead of whatever they might have planned. So that is our AEW review. Pretty short video. I really enjoyed this. There is no script, by the way. I'm just literally just talking, what I liked from the show. That's why I don't really cover the entire thing, but it's just more like what stood out to me, what I think. So that is it. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you next time.